今回の動画ではあなたの英語のリスニングを鍛えるためのネイティブ同士の会話をお届けしたいと思います。初めての方は Welcome to the channel アーサーです。今回の会話は最後の部分になります。で、前の動画を見ていないならぜひこちらから見てください。
I don't know. You brought it up, man. This guy's just
it's
against
because of
bacon.
bacon. Oh, yes. Pumpkin spice is the same thing. People get so obsessed about pumpkin spice because it's cool to be obsessed about pumpkin spice.
I mean, yeah, it is. Yeah, for sure.
So like, I think pumpkin spice is great. But then people are like, oh my gosh, I can't live without my pumpkin spice latte. It's like, yes, you can. You did before.
I will say, though, I love pumpkin spice lattes.
They're really good.
But I do prefer the peppermint.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's unique, man.
Yeah. For me, like, my ideal, like, caffeinated beverage, I'm going to say this because it kind of veers a little bit away from coffee.
Yeah.
Is an Irish coffee with peppermint.
Oh, that's going to be good. Yeah.
Oh, you of course you got to put some whiskey in there too to make it a true Irish coffee. But
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is my favorite winter drink. I drink that fairly often in the winter.
Okay. So I misspoke. They also have eggnog lattes at Starbucks, right?
Yeah. So I love eggnog, but strictly until Christmas.
What do you mean?
Like I don't know what it is about eggnog, but it's like I just like if you were to give me eggnog right now, I like the taste, but I wouldn't be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, I know
it's just like from December 1st to actually I would say from Thanksgiving to New Year's.
Yeah.
Like that little bracket right there.
Yeah.
Eggnog's the most delicious thing ever, and I'll get like eggnog flavored whatever I can find. And then as soon as that ends, it's like get it away from me.
Well, yeah, because like so for those of you guys who don't know what eggnog is, eggnog is a drink that has eggs in it, which is why it's called eggnog, or maybe it's egg yolks only.
Yeah.
And traditionally you mix it with alcohol, but it's got like spices in it and stuff.
Yeah, it's got like a mixture of spices. You put sugar and cream into it. And then traditionally you put either rum, scotch, or whiskey into it.
And it's a very common like Christmas time drink in the United States.
Yeah.
But it's also like an acquired taste, I would say. Because when I first came to the States, so just to tell you, when I first came to the States, I didn't like bacon. I didn't like hamburgers. I didn't like hot dogs. I didn't like eggnog.
So you're just not American.
Oh, I was born in Germany.
Yeah.
What do you want from me, man? But so
how do you not like hot dogs or hamburgers being German?
Hot dogs. Well, so the Frankfurter actually comes from Frankfurt, where I'm from.
Oh, sure.
But it's different. Like, so the hot dogs, like maybe the high quality hot dogs are a little bit different, but the cheap hot dogs that my grandfather used to have in his restaurant, they just had like all these like artificially tasting like spices and stuff like that. That it just didn't feel like, I didn't feel like I was eating meat. I felt like I was eating meat with a bunch of stuff in it, you know? It just...
okay, I can kind of see what you're saying. So you just had a shitty hot dog.
Yeah, I mean, I like hot dogs now, and I can tell the difference, but like, I've had... Yeah, hot dogs are good, you know?
Yeah.
But in Germany, it's more like, there's a little bit of spice, but it's very much, I'm eating meat.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I think... I would agree, man. I would hate to like bite into it and taste like herbs and stuff. And, ew, that's just gross. Yeah. Although I will say, my little treat that I get every now and then is you can get these at Costco. The I forget what the brand is. You probably know the brand, but they got the little chunks of cheese in
yeah, those are nice. Okay, now that we're on the non-Starbucks topic of sausages and stuff and hot dogs, so one thing that I miss a lot, and that I can't even get in Seattle, is Locanico.
I don't even know what that is.
I know exactly, because you can't get it in Seattle. It's Greek sausage. Locanico literally just means sausage, but it's like a specific kind of sausage.
What makes it different?
They have orange peel in it. And
I don't hate the idea of that.
It's really zesty. It's really great. The way that you eat is you cut it up into slices and you just kind of like fry it on a pan.
Okay.
So it's really good. But yeah, so like there's only, even in Massachusetts where there's a lot of Greek people, there's only like one company that sells Locanico.
Okay.
And it's like the old neighborhood is the name of the company.
Yeah.
So like when I was in Seattle, I looked for Locanico like high and low, and I couldn't find it. You know,
well, it's Europeans just don't live in Seattle.
I know, basically. Well, Southern Europeans don't live in Seattle.
Well, I mean, do any?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah, you'll get like the Nordic people. Yeah,
so
for sure.
So the weird thing is, so okay, this is totally off topic, but I'll just do it. So in the United States, you know, a lot of Greek people came to the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
All the Greek people in Boston and like New York, other than the people who stay in their Greek ghettos, you know, they came out and they opened up pizza and sub places.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the Greeks did pizza and subs. My grandfather did a fish restaurant. Now the few Greeks who went over to Seattle, they opened up Greek restaurants. So there's like a lot more Greek restaurants.
Like authentic Greek?
Authentic Greek, yeah.
That's funny.
And I remember the owner's Greek and the woman was there and she was like, oh, you're Greek. I'm like, I'm Greek too. Yeah, it's a kalimera, which means good morning. And at that time, I didn't know what that good morning meant. So I was just like, oh crap, I'm actually not Greek at all. I just totally look like a fool now. But so like on the East Coast, the Greeks are very American, but on the West Coast, the Greeks are very Greek, you know? Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But back to Starbucks, man.
So I have a question because I feel like you'd be able to answer this pretty well.
Yeah.
Starbucks culture. So we know Starbucks culture between Japan and America. How about West Coast versus the East Coast? Is Starbucks different in the East Coast?
Starbucks is way better in Seattle. I'll tell you straight up.
So like, what's the difference?
So like in the East Coast, right? So I told you before in Seattle, in Seattle, you do have comfortable chairs, but there's so many Starbucks and I feel like things are cleaner and more organized there. But on the East Coast, you would have couches. Mm-hmm. The couches would get really scuzzy a lot of the time, or they get old. I remember there was this one Starbucks in an area close to me that had like rips on the bench chairs and stuff like that. And the people working there are high school students who don't really care at all. But it's like I have one friend from Seattle who used to work at Starbucks, and he took a lot of pride in working at Starbucks.
Yeah, I think definitely in Seattle. I think I'm going to say also this is unique to Seattle.
Yeah,
you won't see this anywhere else in the country. But there's a very there's a hipster crowd of people that will specifically only work at Starbucks, and so you'll get like somebody who's in their mid 30s, and they're working at Starbucks because like they like that job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, so that whole barista, hipster barista thing is very West Coast.
Yeah,
you don't really have that on the East Coast.
Yeah,
and I feel like a lot of people go there. I just feels like it's scuzzier, and like people go there not to. I just don't know. It feels more like dilapidated and kind of old.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like darker. It actually feels darker. Darker. No, I don't mean darker from like an atmosphere kind of thing, but like the room is kind of darker and colder. I feel, you know. But that's how we are on the East Coast, you know.
Just terrible people. Yeah, we're a more refined civilization.
In school, did you ever read the book Ethan Frome?
No.
Okay. Yeah. It takes place in New England, and it basically shows you why all New Englanders are rude.
Well, there's a reason why the rest of the country hates people from New England. So as soon as you hear, "Oh yeah, I'm from Boston,"
I'm from Boston.
Like, oh God.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this guy's going to be a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. But yeah, so I would say Starbucks, you know, is a lot better on the West Coast. I would say at least in Seattle, because I only know Seattle.
Yeah.
But one thing that I also liked about Seattle is that they did have a couple of like non-labeled Starbucks. I think. And
what do you mean?
So this was back, I think, when I was still in college, because at my age, it was cool to dislike Starbucks. Like, oh, you drink at Starbucks? Oh, you plebe.
Especially in Seattle, because there's actually a reason for that. It's because the CEO of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, owned the Seattle Supersonics, which was the basketball team. And I want to say
he moved it out. He's the one who moved it out.
Yeah. So in like the early 2000s or something, he sold the team to, I think,
Arizona,
some guy in Arizona or Kansas or wherever they ended up going. And so Seattle had lost their basketball team, and
is that why?
The Supersonics were a terrible team.
Yeah,
they were god awful. Yeah. Like they lost almost all their games, but for some reason, everybody loved them.
Yeah.
Like those games were constantly sold out. They were super popular. People loved the Sonics.
Yeah.
And so everyone like there basically when he sold the team, there was like this huge movement to boycott Starbucks.
Really?
Because people were
that's
pissed.
That's why, man.
So that's why there's hatred of Starbucks in Seattle.
Okay, because I came in, I thought it was just because the coffee is crappy. I mean, there's probably part of that too, but I didn't know that he did that whole thing with the Sonics. Yeah, because I moved to the Seattle a few years after that happened, and people were still talking about it.
Yeah,
like man, whatever happened to the Sonics, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so when I was in college, it was popular to hate on Starbucks, and so Starbucks would experiment with Starbucks cafes under different names and different branding,
like Tully's.
No, not Tully's.
You know, Tully's is Starbucks, right?
I know, and Seattle got rid of, and in Seattle
Seattle's
got rid
best
of all
coffee.
That. Yeah, and they got rid of all that. They're all Starbucks now. So I remember the UW used to be a Tully's campus. Like when I was doing my orientation, like we are proudly a Tully's campus, and now it's Starbucks.
It always cracks me up because like every once in a while, I'll, like talk to cafe people here, and not like serious coffee drinkers, but like, oh, I don't really like Starbucks. I prefer Tully's, and it's like
same thing.
You know, it's the same coffee, right?
Yeah. But what they did, so it wasn't Tully's. It was like this one-off shop, and I remember because it was on Capitol Hill, right? And I went there because it looked cool. There was like a fireplace and stuff there, and I saw that there was a Frappuccino on the menu.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that's weird. I thought Frappuccino was trademarked.
Yeah,
because it was.
Oh, really?
Because it was Starbucks running that under a different name, and they still sold the same drinks.
I didn't know that Frappuccino is trademarked. Yeah. I just assumed that was the name of the drink.
Yeah, well, they trademarked it because they invented it.
They can... Oh, man, what?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I remember seeing, because it was that Frappuccino with like a trademark sign on it, and I'm like, how can this non-Starbucks shop sell... Oh... Wait, and then I looked it up and I said, holy crap, this place is Starbucks.
Connecting the dots like, this is actually Starbucks.
Yeah, right. So they were doing, but basically Starbucks would come out with really unique locations that had that nice ambiance, you know? And in Japan too, they have a lot of places. Like actually, there's a Starbucks in Niigata near where my wife grew up.
Yeah.
Which it's actually a very, very spacious place with a slanted roof, and it's very... like a beautiful building, you know, and I really like that.
I actually really, really like the Starbucks in I want to say Kyoto Station. It's either in Kyoto Station or it's like right nearby it. But the atmosphere is really nice and the view is really cool. You can see Kyoto Tower from it, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
That, and then also there's a Starbucks in Shinagawa Station, which I don't know if you know where that.
It's like, on like you go up the stairs.
Yeah, you go up the stairs and you're kind of like overlooking the station. I like that.
Yeah. Actually, my favorite Starbucks are both in Kyoto. So I like the Starbucks on the way to Kiyomizu-dera because it's like a very traditional outside. But my favorite Starbucks I like to go to is the one on Sanjo, which is it's a Starbucks that's in this. It almost looks like an old-fashioned tower, like a German lookout tower or something like that. And it's overlooking the river. So like you can go down and you actually go down, but you're still above the river. So you can like look around. It's just, I just really like that one.
I will say the Starbucks at the Shibuya Scramble, if you can manage to actually get a spot to sit down and overlook the Scramble, it's really cool.
But they closed it down, man.
Wait, it's gone?
It's gone.
What?
They closed it down about maybe like a half a year ago.
Dude, it just shows like how often I go to Shibuya these days.
Tsutaya owned that place, and Tsutaya left. They left, so they left. The Starbucks is gone too, and I think
that sucks, man.
I know, right? That was like an institution.
Yeah,
you know? You can't say you've been to Tokyo unless you've been there.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like what's the point in going to the Scramble now?
I know. Yeah,
you got to go to the Starbucks.
I know. That was like
the Starbucks and the Don Quixote are the only reason to ever go to the Scramble. You go to the Starbucks to meet your friends, and then you go to Don Quixote. You go inside, you buy alcohol, you get drunk outside in the street, and then the cops yell at you. That's your experience as a foreigner in Shibuya.
So my experience is we would always get drinks at the 7-Eleven in Sentagai. Not the 7-Eleven, the Famima in Sentagai.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a family mart.
And we would, like I had so many interesting conversations with strangers, just like
dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. That was like my Halloween every year.
Yeah, man. Well, I feel like we've talked a lot about Starbucks
for sure.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about Ghibli, but we'll have to talk about that next time because we're like pretty
wow,
much
we
empty.
just powered that drink down.
You powered through that, man.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it is
stressful.
It is urakasumi too, so it's good and stress.
Yeah, this is really good sake, man. You picked out the good one today.
I always pick out the good sake. Anyways,
it's not true. Sometimes he picks out kind of mediocre ones.
So we're gonna so after this we're gonna put out another survey to get topics from people.
Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna do this time is I think we should farm some ideas from our friends group, and then I think maybe we'll take those 5 ideas. Or maybe we'll take like the top like 3 and then combine those with like maybe some of the more popular ideas from this last poll.
Sure.
And we'll see how those go.
Yeah, let's do that.
So we've mentioned a couple times in this episode, but we do have a new Austin and Arthur Friends group that we got started. And basically for a measly pittance every month, you can join this awesome group, and you'll get access to translated videos,
Japanese and English subtitled videos. You also get a PDF script so you can read along with that, and you'll get in our group where you can talk with us too. Share ideas.
We're still in the infancy phase of this. We're still growing it. But we're really excited. We've got a ton of ideas.
I would love to like just get everyone together and just go somewhere. That'd be great.
Man, we've been talking about that for a while now. I know. For sure. Yeah. I think that would be a really fun idea.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you guys haven't checked out friends and you want to get more closely connected, or you want to get, extra stuff to help your English, check it out. If not, please enjoy this video.
There's probably a link under this.
Yeah. But with that, I'll talk to you next time, man.
See ya.
Alright, 最後までご覧いただきありがとうございます。英語実際に話せたらこういう会話もできたらいいなと思う方が多いのですが、問題があります。英語の文法、フレーズをたくさん学ぶのに、いきなり外国人の対面して話す機会があっても、頭が真っ白になって言葉が出てこないという問題があります。英語の知識を増やすだけではなく、生の場面で実際に話せる能力を身につける方法が必要です。で、そのために世界とつながるメソッドという英語学習メソッドを開発してなるべく多くの方に広めていきたいと思っています。そのメソッドの詳細はぜひこちらからご覧ください。As always, enjoy your English adventures. 一緒に世界とつながりましょう。See you next time!